What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. Today we'll go over my first place Memento deck profile. I ended up losing 2 matches at the OTS Championship that I ended up taking this to. One was to Dynamorphia, which I definitely could have played better and won that match, as well as Chimera, which I ended up bricking for both of the games, which definitely was unfortunate. But yeah, not much you can do with that. I'm going to be showing off the side deck as well in this, so if you guys want to be seeing more Memento content, let me know in the comment section down below. And yeah, let's dive on in. So we started off with a 3 attached Nushigu. I've been playing this deck for a very long time. I did see a build at like one of the regionals I was playing too. Please play 3 of this. This card is definitely a 3 of. Alongside, we have the 3 Darkblade. You do not need to play Rhoda. Do not play Rhoda in this deck. Droll and Lopper is becoming a little bit more popular, so you don't want to be hitting hit with Drolls at all. That's why we're only playing 2 of these, or 3 of these. We are only playing 2 of the Anguish. You can cut this up to 3 if you want to, if you don't want to play the Feast package. We're playing the Feast package, therefore you only want to play 2 of it. You don't need the additional, but you always want to play at least 2. And if you guys have been watching the channel for a long time, we have been a huge fan of Double Sleepy for the longest time. I love this card at 2. This card is going to be like where they try to nib you and stuff like that. Having the second one is just always so clutch. This card will always be at 2 at my lists. I always think that this card is absolutely crazy. And then we are playing the 1 Mace, the 1 Goblin. We are not playing the Breakout, the 1 Gaddock, the 1 Akiron, as well as the 1 Horn Dragon, and the 1 of the Giant Guy. Not much you can say. This card's definitely busted. It comes up quite a bit. Being able to attack directly is also very sick. But able to add back both cards. Your combo does change completely with this card. That's going to be it for the Memento monsters. I'll be showing you guys the Fiendsmith stuff next. It's a very small package of only 2 Engraver, the 1 Lacrima, and the 1 Lurie. Yeah, there's not much to say about this. You do not need to play the 3rd Engraver. I have missed it sometimes. If I want to play maybe a 45 card build, I'd bump it up to 3. But like your opponent doesn't really know that you are playing 3 of it. I did come up against a Dynamorphia matchup where I think they ended up Cobble the Graving my Lacrima. Or yeah, my Lacrima there, so I couldn't get the Requiem summon back out. It also can come up a little bit when you are going to up into your Aerial Eater lines. You don't get to really summon back Aerial Eater that much with this, unfortunately, which you have to be careful if you only are playing 2. But you can always go for the Lacrima and then just get like additional bodies that way. And the Lurie is the Lurie. For the hand traps, we're playing the triple copies of Ash Blossom, triple copies of Imperm, triple Fulros, and only double Veiler. This is because we also are playing the 1 Cobble the Grave. I'll mention that out. You can replace Cobble the Grave if you want to with a 3rd Veiler. I wanted to keep this to 40 cards, which is why we're only playing the 2 Veiler. I did see a build online that was playing droplets as well as evenly matched and Dark Blue and more. Please do not play that. You have to play hand traps in this deck. You can play talents as well if you wanted to play the 2 talents instead. I just opted to play the Veiler because I wanted to have these hand traps like ratio wise, and Fulros is kind of goated. I did play against Heroes in the top cut, which is super sick. I ended up drawing like 20 cards. I double Fulros him, and then like I ended up nibbing him and then chaining Druisworm, which are in the side deck, and essentially just wiped the entire field, not having to worry about it. And I shuffled back a bunch of cards, but having like so many cards in your hand and you have like so many 1 or 2 card combos, you just get the advantage so much as long as you have like one of either any of these. That's like having the Anguish or the Darkblade just kind of helps you out completely. It does suck that we can't play any like Dominus Impulses and stuff like that. That is definitely a disadvantage that we have in this deck. But, you know, having so much engine and having the gas that you can play definitely helps out quite a bit. Like, this is a pretty small hand trap lineup. Then for the spells, we're playing the 1 Field Spell, the triple Bone Party, the double Fusion, the 1 Track, and the 1 Fracture Dance. So we are back on the Fracture Dance in the main deck. The other trap is sided. I just found the double pop is going to be a lot more useful in this build. But yeah, even like the Memento Fusion, you don't need to play 3 of it, especially because of Akiron now. Akiron definitely makes it so you can only ever have to play 2 of it. You add back the one that you banished, you search for the Bone Party. Very, very cool. And then, of course, just being able to set, like, you sometimes can end on all 3 of these, which is just absolutely crazy. That's for sure. You know, Bone Party also letting you search for the Mace as a snatch deal. It's just honestly just busted. Your opponent just does not know where to kind of hit. It reminds me a lot of the Rika end board, where you have so many different layers of interaction that you don't actually use any monster effects to kind of get those negates or those pops, which are quite nice. Now for the extra deck, we're playing the 2 Combined Creation, 2 Twin Dragon. I know that people are like, why are you playing Twin Dragon? We have a lot of Mimigul as well as Kashtira at our local sometimes. So playing the double Twin Dragon so you don't get Unicorn ripped is very, very crucial. If you only play one of it, this is going to get ripped, so make sure you don't do that. And if they do rip the Creation King, you can still play. Just send this to the graveyard, banish it, whatever you want. Put it back with that Akiron, get the Field Spell, or you can just dump the Field Spell with something else and add it back. There's all different lines you can do with this if you only have one of it. You don't need to play 3 just for the Unicorn. We play the 1 Cross Sheep, the 1 Herald, and the 1 SP. That's kind of it for our Link monsters that are not for the Fiendsmith engine. You either end on one of these two, sometimes you can end on even both of them, depending on what you're going to go for. This is a lot of the times for Tenpai. Now we have the Closed Moon as well as the Underworld Goddess. This is my flex spot that I am opting to play. You have two kind of flex spots in the deck. You have this and this here, the other two copies. This didn't come up in the OTS Championship, but it has come up lots of times where I just go the Moon effect, like, oh, do you actually play it? And I just link away their cards, push one other body, and it's like, oh shit, I lost my entire field, which is kind of sick. Then we have the Feast package, the Requiem, the Sequence, the Princess, the Aerial Eater, the Caesar, and there's the Desiree. Not much to mention with these cards. Very, very standardized. Aerial Eater is a little bit less goated in this deck than it was before. You can summon it back out, but you have to play this because it does dump the Goblin from your deck. If you open only the Feast package and nothing else, you can get into your Memento lines that way. Honestly, the extra deck was quite nice. I did miss a Typhon and a Goddess at one point, but nothing that would change in this that kind of would like really replace it. It's just like swapping out this back and forth. But Typhon can definitely come up if you want to play that card as well. Now for the side deck, we're playing the triple Nibiru. I know this is counterintuitive with the Tatsu Shigu in the deck, but the card is really good as format, so you want to play it in the side deck there, and then you can play around it by like even tributing off for the monster, but you're not going to do that a lot of the times. Just kind of important to note that like this in the win more situations, like when you're playing against heroes, just kind of like wins you the game. Tenpai is still a problem, so we're playing Ghost Ogre. This is also really good against the Deception as well, making sure that you don't get the Hallowed Azumina, as well as having to send if they already have one of the copies of Hallowed Azumina, because some players are playing two of it. I definitely don't think that's correct, but this is just really good against the Deception. We're playing the two Bestials, one Magnuma, one Jerusalem. Now, I actually thought about playing DD Crow instead of this, but I opted to play these two, and it came up really clutch because this can search for the Horn Dragon as well as Jerusalem being able to send with the Nibiru can just be really clutch. Sending that token to the graveyard and making them have nothing on the field is going to be kind of crucial. And then we are playing the one Harpy Feather Duster in double Cosmics. If you have seen any videos on the channel, you know this is going to be a staple in almost all of our side decks. You don't need to play any more of it, especially because you have like this card here that lets you pop so many different cards in the field. You don't necessarily have to always go for the Cosmics at 3, which is kind of nice. Then we are playing the one Cranium Burst. I mentioned it. If this is not in our main deck, it's in our side deck, and vice versa for the other trap. These are definitely interchangeable. I just found this really good right now. Being able to pop multiple stuff on the field can always be just nice, rather than negate everything. But there are some matchups where you do want to get this on the field. And then for the last card, we are playing a going first card. This can be either Solemn Judgment, or this can be also a D-Barrier if you wanted to. I wanted to play this because there was a lot of like random rogue matchup that I was scared about, as well as Jason living rent-free in my head with Raigeki. All the times I can't end on the Herald here, so I end up choosing to not end on that, end on an SP if I have a Judgment in the hand. That way I can just negate like a Raigeki. Sometimes you can go, if we're playing with like Tenpai, you can go for double, so you have like both ways to negate, which is really nice, you know, being able to negate like the field spell and something else, and then being able to negate like one of their floodgates and stuff like that, or even a Dark Ruler no more. I just really like this board. You know, you end on like a huge combo deck. Judgment's really good. You do lose the evenly matched, so like D-Barrier is not going to save you in that case, but Solemn Judgment definitely can, which I think is really cool in that way. But that's going to be for the side deck. There's not much that I really would change. I think the deck is very, very good. I think the deck is one of the best decks of the format. It's doing a lot better in the OCG as well against Ryzeal, which I think is going to be really cool. We do have the Ryzeal and the Malice deck coming out very soon, and then Shifter is going to be pretty prominent. Therefore, this deck's going to be taking a little bit of a back seat. But hopefully Shifter gets hit very soon, because unfortunately you can't really play with this deck through Shifter, pardon me. But I really do enjoy the deck quite a bit. If you guys want to see more mental combos, let me know in the comment section down below. There is a bunch on the channel already, but there's going to be lots of different Memento content coming soon, at least one a week. So if you want to make sure you see that, make sure you stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. Stay safe. Peace.